Hello students, welcome to another episode of Allforce e-learning program. Today we are going to discuss about the concept of electric field. Electric field, how this field is produced and what are its effects. Before going to the topic, let us have a review. Let us just revise what we have learned in the previous episodes. So I was telling you, charge is a fundamental property responsible for a special force between the particles called electric force. Charges are of two types, positive and negative. Charging, giving charge to a body is termed as electrification. Three methods: friction, charging by friction, by conduction, by induction. Then like charges repel, unlike charges attract. The mathematical formula for the force between two charges was given by Charles Coulomb, by Coulomb's law. So the force between two point charges directly proportional to product of the charges and inversely proportional to square of the distance. So F is equal to K Q1 Q2 by D square, right? Coulomb force. And we have studied the properties of Coulomb force also. Now let's come to the concept of electric field. What is a field? Field is a space. There are lines of force actually. So we'll come to that point. Field is a space where there exist lines of force. What is electric field? Field due to a charge. Now, how does that arise? Now this can be explained like this. Consider a charge small q placed at a point P in the space. Consider a charge small q placed at a point like this. Now, when it is alone, there is no charge in its vicinity, right? When alone, no charge in vicinity, it experiences no force because there is no other charge existing which can apply force. And you know, I was telling you, charge never exerts force on itself. Charge applies force, exerts force on similar charge bodies, the other charge bodies, but it never exerts force on itself. So now this charge body experiences no force, it's free. Now, suppose if I get another charged body capital Q, let us say positive, even this is also positive, and place it nearer to it at a distance D, then this experiences force. Then this charge experiences force. The force is given as mathematical formula, it's K naught capital Q small q by D square, Coulomb's force, right? So when it was alone, there was no force acting on it. When I bring in another charge capital Q, then because of the influence of this one, now there is force. Now the question arises, right? How does this charge apply force on this when there is no contact, when there is some separation between them? You know, in our usual daily life, we observe, suppose if there is a body, to apply force on this body, we put in contact and apply force on the body. So then we come in contact to apply force. But here in this case, this charge is far apart. It is at some distance. But still this is applying force on this. Right? So that is, this charge is applying force on it due to some link. There is something which is connecting them. So what could be the thing that is connecting them? When this is brought into it, then it experiences force, it is repelled, it experiences the presence of it and it is moved away. So we actually get a doubt. How does this apply force on this charge without coming in contact to it? First question. Second, how does a small charge experiences the presence of this capital Q charge? How does this charge know that there is some charge existing there, and it is experiencing force? Now, how does this happen? So by intuiting regarding this, then there may be some link. So this charge may be indirectly, there is some invisible thing which is linking this charge and that charge, and that is framed. So that is, this charge is producing something around its space by which it is interacting on this charge particle, and this charge particle, because of that something whatever existing, it is experiencing the force due to that, the interaction. Now that whatever it is producing around it, that is termed as electric field. So every charge produces a field around itself, in the space around itself, and it interacts the particles with similar particles which come into that field. So the field, electric field, is termed as, it is the space around the charge, the space around a charged body where the influence of this charge is experienced by the other charge particles. It is the space around the charged body, it is the field, the space around the charged body where it interacts, it exerts force on another body. So this space is termed as electric field. Electric field. So every charged body produces some field around it, right? So actually this field extends up to infinity, but to a certain distance the effect, the impact is appreciable, considerable. Beyond some distance the field becomes negligible, very small. Then beyond that, it's the field, even the field exists, it's so small, so we need not consider. So there is a space around it where it shows its interaction. The space around the charge where it shows its interaction, or the presence of the charge is felt. Now this is termed as electric field. Now this electric field produced by a charge, the effect of the electric field, the measure of the electric field can be explained by two parameters. One is electric field intensity, capital E bar. It is a vector quantity. There is another one, electric field potential, V, which is a scalar. Right? So the measure of the field, the strength of the field, the impact of the field can be measured by two things: electric field strength, electric field intensity, and electric field potential. First we shall study the things separately about electric field and electric potential. Later we will get the relation between the field and the potential. Actually these two determine the strength of the field, the effect of the field, right? So next let's talk about electric field strength. Electric field strength or electric field intensity. It is even termed as electric field strength E bar. Right? Suppose, imagine there is a space where there is electric field due to some charge existing around. Now I have to find the electric field at a point P. That E bar, it is a vector quantity, this is E bar. So I have to find the strength of the field intensity at that point, right? Now place a positive test charge Q0 at that point. A small positive test charge, a small charge Q0 at that point. What do you mean positive test charge? Test charge is the one, small minute charge is the one where its own field does not affect the already existing field, right? Every charge will produce its own field. Now we are here to find the field produced due to some charge somewhere here placed. Due to this, the intensity of the field here due to this charge. Now at that point I want exclusively to find the strength of the field produced by this. But even this charge, whatever charge that is placed, even that also has its own field. So we have to consider a small charge, tiny charge, less small in magnitude, so that this does not disturb the already existing field. Now there was a simple question: why the value of the test charge is taken to be very low, very small magnitude? Now the reason for it is, this charge, when it is placed here, it may disturb the charge distribution of already existing charges. Like for example, in this space there is field produced due to some charges around. The presence of this Q0 may disturb the charge distribution of the charges that are existing around. And when the charge distribution is disturbed, the field produced by them is also disturbed. Now we cannot find the actual field intensity at that point. The disturbed field, the final, after being disturbed, the final field whatever exists, that will be found. No, we don't want to find the distant thing. We want exclusively to find out the electric field produced by the charge originally as it is. So whatever charge I am placing there, it should not produce its own field. Even if they produce its own field, it should be so meager, small, minute, that it's so negligible that it does not influence the charge that is existing. So place a positive test charge at the point P. Now calculate the force experienced by it. The force experienced by a positive test charge in the electric field. Now this is termed as the electric field intensity E bar. The electric field intensity of the field at any point in its field is defined as the force experienced by a unit positive test charge, right? Positive test charge in that electric field. So E bar is equal to F bar by Q. In fact, to be very specific, it is limit Q naught tending to 0. It is F bar by Q naught. It is the limit of charge Q naught should be very small, tending to 0, right? Because it should not influence the field around it. It should not disturb the field, already existing field. So limit Q naught tending to 0, F bar force by Q naught. This is electric field strength, field intensity E bar. So electric field intensity. Now if I consider E bar is equal to F bar by Q naught. Now let Q naught be equal to 1 coulomb, a unit positive charge. Then E bar will be equal to F. So defining the electric field intensity. Electric field intensity is the force experienced by a unit positive charge placed at that point. The electric field intensity at a point is defined as the force experienced by a unit positive charge placed at that point, right? And this is a vector quantity. The direction in which this unit positive charge would tend to move, now that will be the direction of the electric field. Electric field intensity is a vector. So it has direction. Now in what direction does the electric field intensity exist? So the direction in which a unit positive charge would tend to move. Positive charge is moving. Now that is defined as the direction of the electric field strength, right? And the magnitude of electric field strength, mod E. So therefore mod E bar is equal to mod of F bar by Q. So therefore electric field strength, magnitude and direction. Electric field strength is defined. Electric field intensity or electric field strength is defined as the force experienced by a unit positive test charge placed at that point in that field. Now this will be equal to the electric field intensity at that point, right? So E bar is F bar by Q naught, right? And so if E is equal to F by Q, right? If there is any charge, capital Q, so if there is any charge Q placed at that point, then E is equal to F by Q. Note, please mind that this charge does not disturb the orientation of the field that is produced by this field, right? If it is not disturbing, then E bar is equal to F by Q. If this charge also disturbs the orientation, or if this charge disturbs the charge distribution, or this charge disturbs the field pattern, already existing field, then the value of the electric field found will be different from the actual field. So to avoid such confusion, we consider this charge to be so small, or it is of such type that it does not disturb this field that is existing there. So E is F by Q, right? It is a vector quantity. The direction of the electric field is given by the direction in which the positive charge would tend to move. Now coming to the units, we know force is measured in newtons and charge is measured in coulombs. So electric field intensity is measured as Newton per coulomb, or even there is another unit called volt per meter. When we come to the relation between electric field and electric potential, so I was telling the field, the strength of the field, the effect of the field can be measured by two parameters: electric field intensity, electric field potential. We can find the relation between them. There we get the unit as volt per meter. Now, dimensional formula of electric field intensity, dimensional formula, it is force by charge. We know dimensional formula of force is mlt minus 2 and charge is it. So therefore, simplifying this, mlt, this is minus 2, 1 goes up, it's t minus 3 I minus 1. This is the electric field strength. The dimensional formula of electric field strength in terms of current. Sometimes even this you can represent it as mlt minus 2. If q is taken, sometimes in some entrance examination he will give you the question even this way. If q is taken as the fundamental quantity, then mlt minus 2 q minus 1. If ampere current is taken, then mlt minus 3 I minus 1. This is the dimensional formula of electric field strength. So the magnitude, first definition, it is the force, electric field intensity is the force experienced by a unit positive test charge placed at that point in that field. Definition. Formula, E bar is F by Q bar. Magnitude, mod F by Q. Direction, the direction in which the positive charge would tend to move in the electric field. Now, that is the direction of the electric field. Now units, it is either Newton per Coulomb or volt per meter in SI system, and its dimensional formula, if ampere is taken as a fundamental quantity, mlt minus 3 I minus 1, or if charge is taken as fundamental quantity, sometimes you will define in the question, if q is taken as a fundamental quantity, then mlt minus 2 q minus 1. This is the dimensional formula of electric field, right? Later, let us take up the applications of this electric field. Electric field intensity, how does it show the analytical approach to electric field intensity. Now, coming to the electric field, there are two types of field, electric field. There are two types. Electric field are of two types. First one, uniform electric field and non-uniform electric field. Now, what do you mean uniform electric field and non-uniform electric field? Uniform electric field is that electric field where the magnitude of the electric field intensity remains same at all the points and the direction of the electric field intensity remains same at all the points. So uniform electric field will be the direction and the magnitude will remain constant at all the points. This is termed as uniform electric field. Now non-uniform electric field, the electric field where the magnitude of the electric field, either the magnitude of the electric field differs from point to point, right, direction remaining same, or direction, magnitude remaining same, direction may differ from point to point, or both magnitude and direction of the electric field may change from point to point. Now, such an electric field is termed as non-uniform electric field. For an example, a uniform electric field is produced between the charged capacitor plates. Suppose uniformly charged capacitor plates, these are uniform conducting plates, then the electric field between these both parallel lines, we see a uniform electric field is produced like this. This is an example. We produce uniform electric field in case of a uniformly charged parallel plate capacitor. And non-uniform electric field, if you consider a point charge, then the lines of force diverge away, move away, the strength changes, right? So point charge produces non-uniform electric field, right? So uniform electric field, magnitude is same, even direction is also same at all the points in the field. Non-uniform, either magnitude is different or direction is different, or both magnitude and direction are different from one point to another point. These are the different types of electric fields that we come across. Now, coming to the applications of the electric field intensity. Suppose there exists a uniform electric field at a space. Let me denote this like this. A uniform electric field E bar exists in this space. Then, if I consider a charge at this point Q, then, now mind you, please remember this point carefully. If a charge is either at rest or in motion in an electric field, charge is at rest, now the electric field is applied, then the charge will experience force. or there is an electric field existing and the charge enters into electric field with some velocity, then also it experiences electric force. So a charged particle experiences electric force either whether it is at rest or it is in motion. But you know, in a magnetic field, stationary charge will never experience force. A moving charge only experiences force due to the magnetic field. Moving charge is only affected by the magnetic field. Stationary charge is not affected by the magnetic field. But electric field, right, moving charge, either it is at rest or in motion, it experiences force due to electric field. So the magnitude remains constant all the points. Now I place a charge at rest. Now this charge experiences force. Now if it is a positive charge, it experiences force in the direction of the electric field. If it is a negative charge, it experiences force in the direction opposite to the electric field. Right? So force experienced by a positive charge, F is E into Q. Positive, this is positive. But force of the positive charge, Fp. But force of the negative charge, it is E into minus Q. So the force due to the negative charge will be in the direction opposite to the electric field. It experiences force in the opposite direction. An electron in the electric field moves in the direction opposite to the electric field. In one of the entrance examination, a question was asked, if beta particles enter into the electric field, then what is the effect? Beta particles would deflect in the direction opposite to the electric field. Earlier there was a question, cathode rays, when cathode rays are sent into the electric field, cathode rays enter the electric field, then they deflect in the direction opposite to the electric field. So negative charge experiences force in the direction opposite to the field. But positive charge, protons, alpha particle, positive charge, deuterium ion, all this experience force in the direction of the electric field. So first point, so when a charge is placed in the electric field, the magnitude of the force experienced by the charge, F is equal to mod E into Q. So let me just take it as F. I am not taking the bar, so its magnitude F is equal to EQ. So the force experienced by the charge. Let the mass of this particle be m. Then, so we know according to Newton's second law, force experienced on a particle on a mass. So F is equal to ma. So ma is equal to EQ. So acceleration is equal to EQ by m. And the direction of acceleration will be in the direction of the electric field if the charge is positive. Again, if the charge is negative, it accelerates in the direction opposite to the direction of the field there. So the acceleration experienced, it is EQ by m. Now we have considered a uniform electric field, constant electric field. Field magnitude is constant. So this is constant, this is constant, and this is constant. So the acceleration is constant. Now the charge particle is moving with uniform acceleration. If a charge body moving in the direction with uniform acceleration, then we can apply the formulas, we can apply the rules of kinematics. Formulas of kinematics, body moving with uniform, equations of motion of a body with uniform acceleration. First equation of motion, we know V is equal to U plus AT. So this charged particle after a time t, what would be its velocity V? V is U plus, the acceleration is EQ by m into t. If I take in vector form, it is E bar, this is U bar, and this is V bar. If I take the magnitude, mod V is mod of U bar plus EQ by m into t. So these two are the vectors. You have to find the resultant of those two vectors and get the thing. So it's not like mod V is mod U plus mod of this. It's not like that. When you consider vectors, you have to find the resultant by Parallelogram law of vectors. So U bar, the vector U bar, and this is, it's like A bar and this is B bar. The mod of A bar plus B bar is root of A square plus B square plus 2AB cos theta. So you have to find the magnitude of the resultant velocity like this. Next, the second equation of motion. We know the displacement S is equal to ut plus half at square. So when a charged particle moves in a uniform electric field, only uniform electric field, we are considering that the gravity is absent or the effect of gravity is zero only in the presence of the electric field. Due to the electric field, what would be the velocity and the displacement? So the displacement obtained is ut plus half the acceleration is eq by m into t square displacement. Third equation of motion, v square minus u square is equal to 2as. So acceleration I shall substitute as eq by m into displacement s. Third and fourth one, displacement covered in the nth second, snth. Fourth, snth, it is u plus of a, that is eq by m of n minus 1 by 2. So when the field is constant, uniform electric field, charge moving in uniform electric field, then these are the equations of motion. Suppose if the charge starts from rest, when the charge starts from rest, if the charge starts from rest, so u is equal to 0. In all these equations, put u equal to 0. Then the velocity v will be eq by m into t. Displacement s is half eq by m into t square. Third, v square will be equal to 2as, 2eq by m into s. And fourth, snth is equal to eq by m into n minus 1 by 2. If the charge body starts from rest, then these are the equations of motion. If the body has initial velocity, then these are the equations of motion there, right? Now one more thing. Coming to the dynamics part of it, force F is eq, the acceleration is eq by m. Then the momentum gained by the body, it is mass times velocity, right? Mass into the velocity gain. Let's suppose it is starting from rest, u is equal to 0. So it's eq by m into t. So the momentum gained by the electron, momentum gained by the charged body in the electric field, it is eq into t. Initially it is at rest, so change in momentum, p, final momentum is p, initially 0. So p is force into time, impulse, eq into t, momentum. Then what is the work done? The work done in moving this charge through a distance d, work done, we know work done is equal to f dot s. Now in this, so the charge is moving in the direction of the electric field, both are in same direction. So the work done is f is eq into distance traveled is d, both are in same direction, it is cos 0. So work done is eqd. What is the kinetic energy gained with a charged particle after traveling a distance d? According to work energy theorem, we know change in kinetic energy is equal to work done. Initially the body was starting from rest, so initial kinetic energy is 0. So therefore final kinetic energy minus initial 0 is work done. Work done is eqd. So the kinetic energy is eqd. This is one of the question asked in one of the entrance examination there. Similarly, even based on this also, right, F is equal to V is eq by t. What would be the kinetic energy gained with a charged particle after traveling for a time t in the electric field? Even this is also a previous entrance question. Kinetic energy gained by the charged particle after traveling a time t, right? Then kinetic energy is equal to half m v square. Substituting v in this one, it is half m eq by m into t whole square. Let me prove it again, right? So sir, the disturbance చూడండి 10 minutes అయిందా? In a uniform electric field, if a charged particle starts from rest and accelerates for a time t, then the kinetic energy gained by the charged particle is, this was the question asked in the earlier entrance examination. Kinetic energy gained by it, we know kinetic energy is half m v square. So what is the velocity gained? According to the equation of motion, v is equal to u plus at. Initially the body is starting from rest, it is a into t. So force F is equal to eq and acceleration is equal to eq by m. So substituting velocity is eq by m times t. So therefore kinetic energy is equal to half m v it is E cube by m into t whole square. So simplifying half m, it is E square q square t square by m square, cancelling m. So the kinetic energy is E square q square t square by 2m. So after traveling for a time t, the kinetic energy gained is E square q square t square by 2m. You please consider this. Please look at this numerator, EQT. It is EQT whole square by 2m. We have just now proved the momentum as EQT. So that is kinetic energy is momentum P square by 2m, like this. So this is the kinetic energy gained after traveling for a time t. Now similarly, if he is asking you to find out what is the kinetic energy after traveling a distance t, kinetic energy after traveling distance d, then so v square is equal to 2as, u being 0. So therefore v square is equal to 2, a is E cube by m into s distance is t. Then the kinetic energy gained is half m v square. So kinetic energy is half m of v square, it is 2 E cube by m into d. This cancel. So kinetic energy is EQD. These two are the entrance questions, previous entrance questions asked earlier in the entrance examination. Please make a note of them. Thank you.